prompting or the next time I'll be asking him to leave. Question number 5, Eugenie Sage.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, thank you. My question is to the Minister for the Environment and asks, when he said last year that the Marine Reserves Act is now outdated, it does not provide for protection in the huge exclusive economic zone, was he saying that a new act should provide for new marine reserves in our EEZ? If so, why has his position changed?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Marine protection is needed in the EEZ, and that is why our government is committed to the Kermadec Ocean Sanctuary, covering 15% of the EEZ. It will provide for an area twice the land of New Zealand in which mining, in which fishing and which petroleum will be banned. We have modified our language in the EEZ from marine reserve to ocean sanctuary based on the legal advice that our rights and obligations in the EEZ are different to those in the territorial sea under international law. For instance, deep sea cables that would be prohibited in a marine reserve cannot be prohibited in the EEZ under that law or for a number of shipping activities. I don't think the public will mind whether it's called an ocean sanctuary or a marine reserve. What they care about is that 15% of our EEZ under this government will be fully protected.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Does he agree that the reform legislation, apart from the special legislation for the Kermadecs, will do nothing to protect 94% of the marine environment, areas where threatened seabirds such as albatross and yellow-eyed penguins feed, and nothing to protect the deep-sea ecosystems that our billion-dollar fishing industry depends on?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
I think you need to look at the government's legislation package as a whole. And when you consider that this government is committed to protecting 15% of our EEZ in the Kermadec area, an area 50 times the size of Fiordland, our biggest conservation area, an area that's got over 50 volcanoes, that's got 20 species of marine life, I would be expecting the Green Party to be congratulating this government on its marine conservation efforts.
Supplementary.
Order. Order. Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Is the Minister saying he is comfortable that oil and gas drilling, seabed mining and fishing can occur throughout the exclusive economic zone without balancing this with a new law which enables some areas within the EEZ outside the Kermadecs to be protected?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, we are the very first government in the 150-plus year history of this nation to set aside an area of the EEZ for pure protection. And I further make this point to the member: the area of the Kermadec Ocean Sanctuary will be the largest no-take area of ocean contiguous anywhere in the world. New Zealand, setting aside the biggest area anywhere in the world for marine conservation. And I think that's something that all members of this House should celebrate.
Order. Supplementary question, Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister, what overall progress has this government made to improving the management and protection of our marine environment?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, our first achievement was in putting in place the EEZ legislation, because prior to that, deep-sea drilling or any of those activities could be done out in the EEZ without any requirement for a consent or any restrictions at all. Our second step has been making real progress on a number of marine reserves that had stalled for years or in some case decades. The 3 new marine reserves in the Subantarctics, the 5 new marine reserves on the west coast, the new marine reserve at Kaikoura and at Akaroa are all marine progress under this government. And the last I would re-emphasise again, of which I have had numerous correspondence from all around the world, is the Prime Minister's announcement of that Kermadec Ocean Sanctuary that I think has been welcomed internationally as well as in our own country.
Supplementary question, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
And I ask this Minister if he thinks that the history of this country is 150 years, if he thinks that that is an appropriate thing to say in this Parliament, why doesn't he resign?
Mr Speaker.
Yes, he did.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I openly acknowledge that our Maori people have been here for 800 years. But this institution of Parliament has been going for 150 years, and I say again, this Parliament has never made as good a progress in marine conservation under this government.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Given the widespread support for the Kermadex, is he really convinced that his new marine protected areas legislation can't provide a simple process to create new marine protected areas in the EEZ, which comprises 94% of our ocean environment?
Mr Speaker,
The Honourable Dr Nick
as
Smith.
I've said to the member, we are setting aside 15% of that EEZ with the Kermadec legislation. In respect of the marine protected area proposals, providing for 4 different type of marine protection tools, species-specific sanctuaries, seabed reserves, marine reserves, as well as recreational fishing parks, they are more appropriate for the territorial sea. For instance, it is perfectly proper for local communities to have a say in their sea immediately adjacent to their community. But it is the government's view that with respect to the EEZ, the more appropriate way is special legislation, and that's exactly what we're doing with the Kermadecs.
Question